Thank you very much allowing me to discuss with you on this very important topic. I'm glad to have had my colleague and friend, Mr. Jean-Louis. He has reduced a bit on what I have to discuss with you. My topic, very interesting one, focused on IECMS, Integrated Electronic Case Management System. The content I will discuss on IECMS implementation process, IECMS rollout, ICMS training to the end users, challenges and remedies. IECMS currently is operational in five justice sector institutions. Rwanda Investigation Bureau, National Prosecution, Judiciary, Rwanda Correction Services, and Civil Litigation Services Department in the Ministry of Justice. ICMS is meant for all justice sector institutions, but currently it's being operationalized in those 5 institutions. This picture shows broadly the planning ahead of all justice sector institutions to be involved in the ICMS usage to serve the public. You can see ombudsman, you can see civil society, we can see governance, we can see many institutions in this picture whereby we are still to work on, to come later and make sure ICMS serves the citizen as intended. This is the interface for all justice sector, 5 institutions. The interface look alike. Coming to the main point, main slide, where ICMS, I think Jalui has spoken a bit on this. ICMS contract, first contract was signed on 29th December 2014. Development part of the work was done in 10 months since this January till October 2014. November 15, ICMS was deployed locally in Rwanda, and 1st January 2016, the mighty, the extraordinary ICMS system, the unique system across Africa, has started the operation. Since then, the system have had 8 versioning till 8th August 2016. By then, we have changed the approach. Instead of gathering requirements from the 5 institutions and work on them, then have a versioning, we found that the best way to approach, taking into consideration the time factor, we went to the continuous delivery. However much the requirements comes from any institution of the above mentioned 5 ones, it is worked on and get released. We are no longer doing versioning. Now we release. When there is a requirement, developers work on it, the next day they release. So that has very much improved the system. Till today we've had like 1,000 releases about the ICMS upgrades. This is also very important, the ICMS rollout phases. We've had 3 major phases just to roll out ICMS within justice sector institutions, as I mentioned them: RIB, National Prosecution, Judiciary, Rwanda Correction Services, Civil Litigation, and of course the Judiciary of Rwanda. First phase, we had an approach of rolling it out in phases. Phase 1 included 16 courts around Kigali have had ICMS in the first phase. 15 prosecution branches, 10 RIB, Rwanda Investigation Bureau branches, 3 prisons in Kigali, and Civil Litigation Department. After 6 months, second and third phase followed, and we ensured in 2017 that all justice sector institutions were just using ICMS operation, every services as mandatory being processed in ICMS. The next point is ICMS training approach. Here I'm going to focus much on the training in particularly judiciary of Rwanda. The first approach was to train the trainers. These were judges, registrars, and IT staff, just to mentor the rest of judicial staff. We had to select judges. This wasn't really an easy task. We had to go through all courts across the country, select judges who are more conversant with IT facilities, tools, more than the rest. The same for registrars and the same for IT staff. Next, we had to think about ICMS ambassadors in the same courts to ensure whenever training is done, we need to have ambassadors in any court across the country to speak out, to play a role in place of IT department, because we don't have ITs in each and every court across the country. So after that, we started the real training, as you can see in the picture there. We had like 1 full week, 7 days training for all grouped judges and registrars together. We trained them, and next we have a second session of going in each and every court building and train one-on-one. We help out the judges and the registrars on an individual basis according to where they have issues and problems. Next was to establish channels for helping them when the matters arise. For example, mailing group. Mailing group, this was very, very successful for us, whereby end users can share their issues, problems, questions, and then solutions also are given there to ensure if one question can be asked by one person in one particular court, but this, if the answer is given to this problem, it is going to help everyone using the system. That was very, very key for us to train, to mentor, to make people familiar to this system. We also had the same training methodology for military justice staff to ensure they also can be part of this. For the same approach, we had to train bar association members to ensure they can help in the proper manner, the best way we wanted at that particular time. By then, we trained all Rwanda Bar Association members across the country to ensure they support well our citizens to access the justice in this country. We had also to train ICMS facilitators, young people educated with the knowledge, law, IT. We had to call them, put them together, train them across the country, ensure these people are well equipped with the basic knowledge of ICMS, just to help citizens to submit online their cases. We also had to train cyber cafes to ensure they also are well equipped to ensure they help the citizens to submit their cases, as I said before. Also, we had also to train legal aid forum to ensure they help the citizen. Really, I'm going to take a little bit here, time to ensure we understand the challenges we had and what were the remedies to those challenges, as wasn't easy. If you are to tell your citizens from this particular day, nobody is allowed to submit manually his case, it wasn't really an easy task to handle and believe that it will get successfully done. ICT illiteracy was really one of the challenges. Confrontation, institutional resistance to change, big challenges, challenge for us. Addressing capacity constraints was a challenge for us. Budget constraints and ICT infrastructure, mostly in the remote areas. And we had to use these remedies, as I'm going to go one by one. Addressing IT illiteracy, we had to have TV, radios, talk shows, training cyber cafes, as I mentioned, and facilitators, and intensive ICMS trainings for bar association, other entities. Addressing the resistance to change, we were really, as my colleague Jarui explained, very lucky to have top management willingness and positive mind. This was very key, very important for us. Otherwise, we couldn't go any mile if this willingness of our top management in the justice sector wasn't there. It could be really a very heavy and almost impossible task. As I said before, to fight the resistance, mailing group also was one of the points to help us, and quarterly meetings. Quarterly meetings, ICMS usage could come as one of the main points to discuss to ensure our staff, our judges, our registrars embrace the use of the system. Addressing capacity constraints, one of the remedies was to train trainers, use manuals and YouTube videos to ensure anyone can go on the YouTube and download the tutorial and know how to proceed he or herself. Rollout in phases was also one of the approach to fight or to address the capacity constraint. And addressing budget constraints, we had to use maximally the resources available and roll out in phases. These were part of fighting or reducing the challenge of budget constraints. And addressing the infrastructure in remote areas, our government of Rwanda had established the telecenters, fiber extension, and 4G, LTE. All these facilities extended up to the last mile have been a key to success for us to ensure ICMS can be used by anybody, by everyone, wherever you are in the country and outside. And I think, thank you very much for listening to this, very important.